Welcome children to Class 7 English online class. Today I am going to say a very interesting story. Do you like stories, children? Yes, you all like stories. So the title of this story is Alice in Wonderland. This story is presented in your Term 2 book under the supplementary section. Okay, let's get started. Children, in this video session, I will be first giving you some details about the book, then some important details about the author, and then I will be showing you the images of the characters used by the author in this story, and finally I will be explaining the story in detail. Children, I request you to watch the full video attentively without skipping any part. First, let's go through some details of the book. Children, the book Alice in Wonderland was written by Lewis Carroll. It was published on 26th November in the year 1865 by the Macmillan Publishers. The genre of the book is fantasy. The book has attracted all ages of people and it was translated into at least 97 languages. So children, this is a very brief information about the book. Next, let's go through some details of the author. Children, the book Alice in Wonderland is written by Charles Ludwig Dodgson. He is better known by his pen name Lewis Carroll. He was born on 27th January 1832 at Daresbury, England. He was a multi-talented personality as he was an author, illustrator, poet, mathematician, photographer, teacher and inventor. He studied at the Oxford University. He wrote many books and the most notable among them were Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass, The Hunting of the Snark, etc. He died on 14th January 1898 at Guildford, England. So this is a brief information about the author. Children, the story Alice in Wonderland is about a 7-year-old girl, Alice, who by chance falls into a rabbit hole and enters into a magical world inhabited by peculiar creatures. The story describes her adventures in the Wonderland. Now, let's know about the characters of this story. Children, the heroine of this story is Alice. She is a 7-year-old girl who is loving, gentle, clever, well-mannered, and most importantly, wildly curious. She also has a sister who is very studious. The next character of the story is the White Rabbit. It is this White Rabbit who led Alice into the Wonderland. Though he is of some importance in the story, he is a maniac, timid, and occasionally aggressive. The next character is the Caterpillar. It is this caterpillar who directs Alice to the magic mushroom that allows her to shrink and grow. The next character is Mad Hatter. He is small-made and impolite. He enjoys frustrating Alice. The next character is March Hare. March Hare is Mad Hatter's tea-time companion. March Hare also enjoys in frustrating Alice. The next character is Dormouse. The Dormouse is Mad Hatter's and March Hare's companion. She sits on the table and drifts in and out of sleep. The next character is the Cheshire Cat. The Cheshire Cat appears and disappears now and then in the story. It is this Cheshire Cat who explains the Wonderland's madness to Alice. The next character is the Queen of Hearts. The Queen of Hearts is the ruler of Wonderland. She is very strict and dominating. Children, there are some more characters in this story. but only a part of it is taken for our study under the supplementary section where the above characters are involved. Did you understand? Okay, now let's read the lesson and enjoy each and every detail described in it. Come on children, let's read the story and enjoy it. Alice in Wonderland. Alice was beginning to get very tired of sitting by her sister on the bank and of having nothing to do. Bank means land alongside the edge of a river. So children, visualize a river bank as you see in the image here. Alice's sister is sitting under a tree near the river bank and reading a book. Alice had nothing to do, and so she was getting bored of sitting simply near her sister. Next, once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no pictures or conversations in it. And what's the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversation? Peeped means glanced. Since Alice was getting bored, once or twice she glanced at the book her sister was reading. But children, this book had no pictures or dialogues. So Alice thought in her mind of what was the use of a book without pictures or conversations. In fact, she felt it was a bit funny. Next, so she was considering in her own mind, as well as she could, for the hot day made her feel sleepy and stupid, whether the pleasure of making a daisy chain would be worth the trouble of getting up and picking the daisies when suddenly a white rabbit with pink eyes ran close by her. Considering means think carefully about. Daisies means wild flowers. So children, the day was very hot. This made Alice feel drowsy. She was at the same time thinking in her mind whether to get up and collect some wild daisy flowers and string them into a chain. Just before she could make a decision, a white rabbit with pink eyes ran past her. So far, did you understand, children? Let's continue. The rabbit pulled a watch out of his pocket to check the time. He shook his head, then disappeared down a rabbit's hole. So this white rabbit took out his pocket watch from his pocket and checked the time. Then he created an impression as though he was late for an important occasion and quickly vanished down the rabbit's hole. Next, I must find out why he is in such a hurry, cried Alice. Pride means shout loudly when surprised or worried. So, on seeing the strange behavior of the white rabbit, Alice was surprised and was curious to know the reason as to why the white rabbit was in such a hurry. Next, filled with curiosity, she ran to the rabbit's hole and peeped through the entrance. The hole dropped suddenly and Alice fell. Curiosity means inquisitiveness or the spirit of inquiry. So, Alice, filled with curiosity, ran to the rabbit's hole. She peeped through the hole. The hole suddenly opened and Alice fell inside it. So far, did you understand, children? Good. Next, she fell for a long time when suddenly she came upon a three-legged table all made of solid glass. There was nothing on it except a tiny golden key. Tiny means small. Now Alice tumbled down and down the hole for a long time. At the bottom of the hole, she saw a table. This table had only 3 legs and was made of solid glass. And on the table, there was a tiny golden key. Next, when she looked around again, she came upon a low curtain she had not noticed before. and behind it was a little door about 15 inches high. Curtains means screens. Now Alice looked around her once again. She saw a curtain which was very small in size. She moved the curtain, and behind it she saw a small door which was only 15 inches tall. Next, she tried the little golden key in the lock, and to her great delight it fitted. She opened the door and saw a beautiful garden through it, but she couldn't reach it as she was too big. Delight means pleased. So immediately Alice took the little golden key and tried to fit it into the lock. Luckily, the key fitted into the lock, and Alice was greatly pleased. She opened the door and saw a beautiful garden through it. But sadly, she couldn't go to the garden as she was too big to go through the tiny door. So far, did you understand, children? Good. Let's continue. When she turned around towards the three-legged table, Alice found a green bottle that said, "Drink me," magically appeared on it. So Alice sadly turned towards the three-legged table. On the table, she found a green bottle which said, "Drink me." This seemed magical for Alice. Next, out of curiosity, Alice took the bottle and drank the entire potion. Then she began to shrink until she was no bigger than a doll. Potion means a liquid with healing, magical, or poisonous properties. Shrink means to reduce in size. So children, I already told you that Alice was a curious girl. So out of curiosity, she drank the entire liquid or the potion that was in the green bottle. As soon as she drank it, she became smaller and smaller until her size reduced to the size of a doll. Next, she opened the door and quickly ran through it. "What a splendid garden!" she exclaimed. "Why, I'm no bigger than the insects that crawl on these flowers." Splendid means magnificent or wonderful. So Alice opened the door and quickly ran to the garden. She was so impressed with the garden and exclaimed, "What a splendid garden!" Then she saw some insects crawling on the flowers in the garden. She realized that she was as small as those insects and said, "Why, I'm no bigger than the insects that crawl on these flowers." Next, but the excitement soon wore off. Alice grew bored with her size. Wore off means gradually decrease. Excitement means thrill. But what happened was that the thrill which she experienced so far gradually decreased, and she grew bored with her small size. Next, "I want to be big again," she shouted. Getting bored with her miniature size, Alice shouted that she wanted to be big again. So far, did you understand, children? Good. The remaining part of the lesson will be continued in the next session. So continue watching, children.